So hi everyone. Today again we are going to continue with the data dictionary concepts. We created a table yesterday, a custom table or a Z table, and then we also created a maintenance view. So if you remember, this was our custom table, and then so in SAP whatever we create on our own we call it a custom object. So basically this table would be a custom table. So you go to SM30, you enter the table name, hit on maintain, you'll see this data there. Now we can just create a new entry here, we can delete the existing record. So why we actually needed a maintenance view? So what happens in SAP, normally we don't want users to go and access SE11, but then what we generally do, we create a maintenance view and then we attach this maintenance view to a transaction code. By attaching it to a transaction code, we get more control on that particular transaction, because what we do, we go into the user's profile. For example, this is my user ID, SAP user. So the basis or the security guy, they will go into my profile, and then what they will do, if I am supposed to execute this transaction and if I am supposed to maintain the data in this table, then only so they will just assign some parameters there, and then only I can execute the transaction. Otherwise no one else would be able to do that. So that is basically from authority or the security, data security point of view. So authorization object concepts we will take later, but then for now you just remember. So how to attach a table maintenance view to a transaction code? So go to a transaction, standard transaction called SC93, and let's say I give the same name here, hit on create. Okay, first table, select this option, transaction with parameters, hit OK. Transaction is, so what we are doing, basically we are attaching the SM30 transaction here, and then we want to skip the initial screen, means we want to skip this screen, we directly want to come to this screen. So skip initial screen, and by default to select all these three options, so that whatever kind of SAP GUI is there, it should work for that. So just select view name, give your table name here, and then select update, value should be X. Save this. So you can see here I'm going to save it in a local object. While if you remember, yesterday we saved the table in a different package. So the difference between a local object and the package and then which creates a transport is that local object is not transportable, which means a local object would be local to that particular client, but then it doesn't mean that I cannot assign it to a package. What I can do, I can go to utilities, not this one, yeah, go to object directory entry, hit this change button here, and then give that particular package. So let's say Z_Brazil, hit save. Now again it will be a part of my transport request. So now it's saved in a transport. So what I'll do, I'll go and try to, yeah, you can see the package is assigned here now. So I'll go and try to execute this transaction. So you can see that we directly reached here. So that is the main benefit. So what we do, we directly don't allow anyone to go to SE11 and update the table. Instead, we create a maintenance view of that table. We create a T code, and then we assign that T code to user's profile, so that only a particular user or a set of user or a group of user can just act on that table, and no one else should be able to disturb it, because data is very critical, data is very sensitive, and then the whole and sole purpose of ERP is to protect the data and use it in an optimum way. So I hope you are getting my point. Okay, so coming to the table, So SE11 is one transaction code. Here we have multiple options: display, change, and create. The other transaction code provided by SAP is SE12. So this will only display the table. We cannot create or change this table. So you can just remember these T codes, SE11 and 12. Now again I'll go to SE11. So what you can see here, this is a transparent table. So transparent table is okay. So I'll just explain one more concept here. So the transparent table is a table which is having one-to-one relationship within the table, means with the key field and the other records, which means there would be only one unique key. But then in case of there is another table called cluster table. So cluster table, in that we have one-to-many relationship. So against one key field there would be multiple entries, while in case of a transparent table there would be only one entry against a key field. The third kind of table is called pool table. So in pool table we'll be having the many to many relationship, which means there won't be the concept of a key field. So I don't remember a pool table at this point of time, but I'll show you one cluster table. So BSEG is a cluster table. You can see here it's a cluster table, and then against the combination of this there would be multiple entries, which means this table itself is the combination of 6 different tables. So if you come here you will see the pool or the cluster RFBLG. So RFBLG is basically a cluster or a kind of a group name which in turns contain a different table into it. So this one is our cluster. In this we have different tables like BSAS, BSIS, BSAK, BSIK, and then BSAD, BSID. So all vendor and customer related open and closed items. So it's like that. So just remember that cluster table we will be having multiple, one to many relationship. In pool table we will be having many to many relationship. So that is another concept which we just covered. Yeah, the other thing which I wanted to show you is what I did yesterday. I made both the fields as key fields, which means this and this both will be treated for the unique combination of this table, while my expectation was that against a material there should be one material description, and then material description it shouldn't be a key field because it's not at all necessary. So what I'll do, I'll remove this, I will activate this, so what it is saying that there is a data already available in this table, and then you just cannot make the changes just like that. So what you need to do, you need to adjust the database also. So for that we have a transaction called SE14. So SE14 is our database utility. Just give the table name here, edit, activate and adjust database. Yes. So this database utility is basically a kind of front end. Just like we have Oracle admins in the back end, they will create secondary indexes, they will do a lot of database adjustments and all. So same thing we can do it from here. So SAP has provided an utility. It will work with any database, it doesn't matter. So you can see this table is now adjusted, data is adjusted. I'll go back, I'll activate this. Warning, we don't care as a programmer, we care only for errors. So now just see this here, this when I create a new entry and then I write, so if I save here, So both becomes blue, means both become non-editable, because earlier I gave both the fields as key fields, and then key fields cannot be edited. But then now it should be edited. But the thing is, if you make any change in the structure of the table, you need to delete the existing table maintenance generator, and then you need to regenerate. So what I need to do here is continue. So utilities, table maintenance generator, and then I'll go here, I'll delete the existing table maintenance generator. It's not active because we made the changes in the table. Okay. The other thing which I would like you to notice here is, when we created this table maintenance generator, when we created this one, so we used the single entry option, single screen option, sorry. I'll just show it again. In the backend it's doing a lot of things. I'll explain even that also. But then for that we need to cover some more concepts, so I'll bring it up again. So we'll just wait for this to be activated. Obviously this operation was disturbed in between, so it will be a short dump. So this is done. Go to table maintenance generator. First activate this table, then now yesterday what I did, I selected the one step option, due to which we were just maintaining the data directly. Now I'll select two step option. We can give the same name here, find screen number, let the system propose the screen number. You can see 1 and 2. Earlier we just created one screen, now it's basically two screens, so two step maintenance. Hit on create. You will just close the unwanted sessions. So now you can see that this entry is still editable. Earlier both used to become uneditable, but now this one is editable because it's not a key field. So that is something I wanted to show you. So key field we cannot change, but then non-key fields we can change at any time. Now if I hit on new entry, you can see a different kind of screen here. So I need to give material here, HHH, and then description, KKK, save, go back. So it will come here. Now it's a two-step maintenance process. Earlier we were maintaining it directly here. Now we are maintaining it through two-step process. So it will go to a different screen and then we need to come back. So that is the difference between one screen and two screen maintenance. Now the next thing which we essentially want to do here is we want to create the custom domain and data element. So okay, before I create a custom domain and data element, we'll explain about view. So we have the concept of view in SAP. So we have different kind of views here. So one kind of view you just saw, that was maintenance view. Apart from that, we have database view, we have help view, then maintenance view, and then there is another kind of view. Just a second. Yeah. So this one is a maintenance view, you can see here. In the view, there could be an option wherein we are putting two different tables, and then we want to see the combined output of those tables, and then we need to define a relationship between those tables. For example, let's try to create a view first. So we have a table called MAR, that is material master. You can see. And then we have another table called MAKT. So basically this one is for material description, and then I want to see a combined output of this. Yeah, so I'll go to view Z, let's say Z view, or for change we'll just give Y view and help it create. Yeah, so we have database view. Just hit F1, so okay, no help available. Okay, leave it then. So we have database view, we have projection view, maintenance view, help view. So I'll just explain about this. So database view is basically a kind of inner join between two tables, and then it will give a combined output. For now, we will just focus on database view. Copy, give test view, give a table called Mara, give a table called MAKT, hit on relationship. So MAKT and Mara, hit on copy. So basically it's proposing a kind of relationship that MARA MATNR and MAKT MATNR, and then the client to the client, language to the language. So we'll just execute this, put it in the same transport, same package, and then try to see the content of this. Oh, sorry, it's saying that you haven't defined any fields. So which field do you want to see? So obviously I want to see the key field, that is MATNR from table MARA. And then, so this basically coming from this table. Then I want to see MAKTX from KT. Okay, activate this. No warnings, we don't care. So if I execute this, so what it actually is doing, that it's creating an internal join between, inner join between these two tables. So pulling the material and then pulling the corresponding description. So this is something called database view. So it's just to join two tables or three tables or multiple tables and then see the combined output. So here you can see the maintenance status, basically read only. If that is read and change, it means it's a proper maintenance view which we created via SM30. Help view and then projection view we will just hold for now because it will be like too advanced. Now coming to data type, if you hit F4 here, so we have data element, we have structure, database table, table type, view, class interface. Class interface will be covered in object oriented. Views I just explained. Table type, okay, I'll explain it. Okay. Search for database table, you already know what is a database table. Structure, you know what is a structure. Data element, you already know. Table type, so what we can do, so basically we can try to create a deep structure. For example, I tell someone that this is my table A, and this table A is basically having a field B and a field C. So field B is basically just a field which has, let's say, value A, B, C, but then field C is basically another kind of table, which means it will have different values like D, E, F, G, H, I, something like that. So it will have multiple entries here. So let's see if there is any existing table type. So once you go inside the table type, you'll see a line type. If you double click on the line type, so you'll see different fields which in turn are kind of deep structure. You'll see the data type is basically a table type. So if I double click here, it will again open a new line type, and then if you go inside again you can see. So basically it's kind of structure inside structure, a deep structure kind of concept. So what happens normally in case of XML format of data, when it comes, so instead of capturing that data and putting into multiple different tables, what we do in one table itself or in one table type itself, we create a deep structure so that the complete data is basically lying in the same table type. So that is basically something like a deep structure. When we will be working on the smart form, then I'll explain you what exactly is a deep structure at that time. Now coming to type group. First what you can do, you can come here and then try to hit F1. F1 is basically the help provided by SAP. So most of the cases there would be some kind of help available. So here it's not coming because my system is again a demo system, so it might not be configured properly. But then type group is, let's say I give one type group, let's say SLIS. If I hit on display, so what it does, it contains a predefined definition of different structures and field which could be useful in terms of doing some operation. That operation could be like displaying a big report, it could be like generating a big report, it could be like downloading the data in a particular format. So while we are doing that operation, lot of things are required which are already predefined in SAP. So once you get inside, you can see a lot of things are predefined. And if I include this in my program, just this one, I'll show you how to include. So these, whatever declaration is there inside this, it's readily accessible in my program. So that is about type group. Domain, I'm going to tell you now, search help, okay, and lock object. First we will understand about lock object. So what is a lock object? So lock object is something which tries to keep my database redundant, keep my database secured and then there is no, it makes sure that there is no inconsistency in the database. For example, I am basically using the earlier maintenance view which we just created. So I'm maintaining the data, and at the same time someone else is also trying to maintain the data, but then this lock object ensures that let's say I'm trying to maintain the data for a material called ABCD. So this lock object ensures that no one else should be able to maintain the value of that ABCD at the same time, which means the other user, either he should wait or he should just quit the transaction. So that is the concept of lock object. So already SAP has provided certain lock objects. So one thing you need to understand is there are two kind of locks. One is called there are two kind of lock operations. One is called NQ lock, NQ, which means you are enabling the lock, so your database is locked for that particular time. DQ means you are disabling the lock. So again, for now I'll hold the lock object, because what we will do, once we'll just finish our today's creation of custom domain and data element, tomorrow we will create a simple report, and then we will try to update a database by putting a lock object. So that time I'll create a custom lock object, and I'll show you how to use a lock object. So for now I'll just go to my database table, the existing one, hit on change. Let's say I want to enter another field called price of this material. So I give a data element called z price. Now you'll see that z price does not exist here, so it's not inheriting any property like these fields did. It by default brought this one. So what I did, z price, I just gave, I double click here, yes, create the data element, okay, write price of the material, copy this, go to the field label, just paste the same thing to all the lines. So basically, based on the field size, based on the display of that particular field, it will just pick that particular description. Now go to the data type, and then we know that it's kind of a price would be basically something which will contain some value, it will contain some decimal also. So just select the data type of currency, then give the length as 10. So basically it's a kind of field, something, take anything. Activate this. So here you saw that if I am using an existing domain, obviously it will again inherit the properties, but then we wanted to create a fresh domain. So I created a data element z price, we'll create a domain z price. You can create it with the same name, it's not an issue, not an issue. So double click here, save again, create the domain, yes, okay, price. The data type could be again currency, the character could be 10, my decimal places could be 2, hit enter, automatically it will calculate the output length, which means 10 and then one decimal place, one decimal notation, and then 2 fields, so basically it's 13, so output length would be 13. Conversion routine we'll discuss tomorrow. I'll just try to remember it that I need to discuss conversion routine. Now this one is also not useful for now. Activate this. So activate the domain first, it's active, go back, activate the data element, it's active, go back, activate the table. So now you'll see that it requires a reference table and reference field like I showed that day. So if there is a field of type currency, it should refer to some particular table. So what we will do, T001, and then try to activate. no warnings, we don't care. So why I provided T001, so I'll show you that. So T001 is again a master table provided by SAP, which would store all the currency keys. If I go here, I execute, so all the currencies will be stored here. So basically, when the data is coming into this table, it should refer for the currency, it should go and refer for this table. Similarly, whenever there is a field of quantity type, then that time also it should refer, it should give the reference. I mean, we should provide the reference of a table and a field. So we'll just do it sometime later. So this is how we create a domain and a data element. So for today, you just try to practice these few concepts, and then I would say that we have already covered kind of 60 to 70, maybe 75% of data dictionary concepts. Lock object, and then search help is pending. Okay, so lock object we will create maybe tomorrow when we will create a report and try to update a table from that report. Domain, you know these things already, you know. Okay, now first I'll show you something in Mara. So what happens normally, if you see, we have a field called Matner here. If I go to entry and help check, you'll see that we have already a search help created for this MAT1. So what this search help will do, it will pull all the records, I mean all the materials, and then it will show that while you're pressing F4. So what I did when I use the same standard field in my custom table, so if you see here, because I'm using Matner here, so if I hit an F4, and if I hit OK, so it will behave same as a standard search help provided by SAP, means it's behaving as good as a Mara table, means MATNR field of Mara table. But then for description we don't have anything here, because description we are maintaining, but still what we can do just to understand the concept. Okay, the other thing which I would like to explain here is, you'll see at we have maintained the value table as Mara. Yesterday I told you about check table, which means the primary key of one table is basically the non-primary key of other table. That is called check table. This value table is something which is maintained at domain level and which helps to populate the value in search help. Which means this MATNR field, whenever you press F4, it will always go to MARA table. That is my material master, and then it will pull all the materials from there and it will show in the F4, as I just showed here. So basically this is the concept of value table. Just you should remember that also. The other thing what we can do, go to search help, create a search help here. So basically elementary search help means it will just pull the value of one field, collective means it will pull the value of multiple fields. Hit OK, give some search here, selection method. So what we need to do, we need to provide a table here. So I'll try to provide the same. Let's I'll provide T001. And search help parameter is, I'll provide MAKTX, MAKT. Just provide the field here. without hit list. What is that? So left position 10, 20 something. Basically it's defining the place where this window should appear, so nothing serious about it. So this is now activated. I'll go to my table again, go to change mode, select this field, hit on search help. My search help name is gsearch. Hit enter, generate proposal, copy. So this is copied, hit activate, no warning, we don't care, execute. So you'll see that now there is a F4 option coming here, right here. It will just pull all the descriptions from MAKT table. So this is the concept of search help. Now I would say we have covered almost 75 to 80% of our data dictionary. This lock object we will cover while we are doing the report. If in case I forget, please someone just drop me an email and then I'll try to cover in one of the videos. But then I'll try to make sure that I cover it tomorrow. So today we just did a couple of things, like we discussed on views, we discussed on the maintenance views, we discussed on the database views, we discussed on the cluster table, we discussed on the pool table, and then we discussed on the type groups, data types, table types, domain, data element. We created a custom domain, custom data element. We created a search help, assigned it. Lock object is, I have already told you the concept. Then we will implement it tomorrow. So I think we are done for today. We'll catch you again tomorrow. And then just shoot me an email on my email ID, which I mentioned in the discussion section of my YouTube channel. And then let me know if you have any issues. So my email ID would be adisap.abap@gmail.com. And then I'll try to get back as soon as possible. So I thank you for your time, and then happy learning. See you again.